Avalon is a center that helps people who are dealing with domestic sexual violence and stalking.
The things that Avalon offered me personally was hope. There were people that went through what I went through, and they were able to survive.
I had someone who was a very trusted coach. I'm here for counseling. Thank you. I had been to several out-of-state trips doing training and things like that at gyms that had equipment and resources that we didn't have at my gym. On one of those trips, he sexually assaulted me. When it happened, I really just froze. I didn't know what to do. After I was assaulted, he held my hand and he looked at me and he said, "Are we still friends?" And so he victimized me, and then he made me tell him that we were still friends. That is the cruelest thing that one could do.
I went through homelessness, the fear of losing my child, relocating 4 states. I went through every possible method to not be able to leave my abuser. And that is the scary thing for a person who is a victim of abuse, to think that they won't get out of it, get out of their relationship unscathed. Avalon offered a path forward.
We embrace a philosophy of empowerment here at Avalon, which means we're just going to try to meet our clients exactly where they are and empower them to make the choices that they need to make for themselves. Our trauma-informed care says we understand that domestic and sexual violence creates trauma in people's lives, and that trauma may look different for every person. We have a vision at Avalon that we want to have a community that is aware of what domestic violence is, what sexual violence is, and to learn how to promote healthy relationships to be able to end domestic violence.
They offered resources that said, if you do this, here are the elements of help that you can embrace, that you can use, and that you can utilize. That's a huge thing for a survivor.
Therapy's been great for me, and I actually participate in individual counseling as well as group. A lot of the resources that I've received here, point out ways that we deal with trauma, and I thought they were just my personality, isolating myself, numbing myself to my emotions. When I started to read these lists of characteristics that I thought were just who I was as a person, I started to realize these are actually coping strategies that I've built up over time. I couldn't have come to those realizations, I don't think, without talking through what had happened and thinking through that and receiving counseling and therapy.
When we give gifts to domestic violence shelters, we're like angels. We give them things that we might have extra of, but that's their only one because they've lost everything. So the impact of a small thing, that's huge. All these things working together create a perfect opportunity for you to impact in a significant way someone's life, someone who's in a situation they didn't ask to be a part of and feel like they have no control over.
They don't come forward immediately. It's not because they contributed to how they became a victim, but really it's about creating your own self-doubt, living with stories in your head that really aren't very realistic.
All of that power control is taking place. Why do they stay? And I'll tell you, I hate that question. I think a better question is, why is the abuser abusing?
I honestly don't think I would have come to therapy and received services if there were a cost. That sort of speaks to the idea of what a victim's mentality is. Am I worth it? Is it worth it? Should I just deal with this? Should I just cope with what I've got? I've been doing this for decades. Why would I go and get help now? And I would say question those thoughts deeply and think about what are the possibilities.